explore the legacy of Texas through select documents that reflect the state's development with the traveling exhibit Texas America 250. As the United States celebrates 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, Texans are reflecting on.
So y'all gonna probably host the first game?
It's in Travis County.
I already
so he'll get like
put in my
a
request
week.
for the tickets.
You know, 2 days,
How many?
whatever. But
I control 12.
You lied.
I have, there's 12 of us.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought you
No,
had.
no, no, not me.
Tickets on my
Okay.
I am too, I'm so glad.
They put Texas at 13. And,
Betty's here, she went to go.
yeah. So it also depends what happens this weekend as well. What is it?
Hi, how are you?
So,
How's it going? Good, hey Betty, how are you? Are you good, Miss Blackmore?
I'm doing all right, Doc, how you doing?
Good, you look skinny tonight.
Well, thank you. Got a new sweater,
I like it.
one more hat. What happened, man? What happened?
Hit me, drunk driver.
Oh, God.
Awesome here.
I thought you were sick, I didn't know you got in an accident.
We didn't share your business. Just the mayor and I
You're
knew.
supposed to be gossiping with me.
Oh, my pen.
Huh? You can really hear everything out there.
so did you get her?
Everybody talking.
On the side, all right here. And
So if you notice how much chicken
Yeah, let me call the long guns.
Don't make me laugh. I was telling my wife when I see what Thomas just ran into, but you keep trying to look how serious he looks so serious. I don't wanna know.
I'm not sorry to hear that.
That was 3 months ago.
It's awfully quiet tonight, guys. Look at this, we've got,
So she's,
I had to fight for a seat. You had to fight for a seat, a good seat at that, too.
you know,
Okay.
you can't see it from here.
I'd like some noise. So,
We know.
did he get arrested? What did he do?
He did. He did.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you for the blankets.
Well, glad you're okay.
Out for a week. And, you know, then I kind of half planned the second week. Thanksgiving.
Everything is rolling.
Okay.
You are ready to go, Mayor.
Okay, we are ready to GO.
Right. Let me grab all my stuff here. All right. Good evening, and welcome to the City of Leon Valley City Council regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025, and it's approximately 6:30 in the evening. And you can see we have a quorum. All city council members are present. And Councilor Mersch, I was going to ask you if you would like to lead us in the pledge this evening. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, here we go. Thank you, I appreciate it. All right, agenda item number 2 is citizens to be heard. Are there any citizens in the chambers that would like to address the council at this time? Please come forward. You have up to 3 minutes to speak. All right. Seeing no one, then we will move to presentation. Presentation 3.1, direction to staff on purchase of items for Veterans Memorial. And I don't see Melinda this evening, so it must be Dr. Caldera who will.
Sends her apologies, she wasn't feeling too good today.
Certainly, we
so-
understand that. I think it's going around.
Me
Yeah.
too. So this is Veterans Memorial Park enhancement options. It's really to give us, y'all did budget this in your capital items for this budget cycle. And so this is the current space. This is what it looks like. And the original, okay, so just a little bit of background. Originally, it went to the Park Commission. The Park Commission wanted to leave it a green space, but it's continuously kind of come up every budget cycle. And so this year it was approved as part of a capital project. We try to bring it back to the Park Commission to like have them relook at it, but they have been unable to establish a quorum. We've made 2 attempts, so I've decided just to bring it to y'all, see what you think. If you want it to go back to the Park Commission until they're ready to have a quorum, then we can certainly do that as well. This was the first concept that the Park Commission looked like. This was submitted, I think, by Walter Garrity. This was the amphitheater. We did have residents come out at that time saying that they did not want anything there for that. Oops. And so, yeah, the Garrity concept. And so he thought that there would be some 8 handicap seats. We could do dedication in the area, that kind of thing. The second one was concept 2 is submitted by Daniel Rodriguez. He was looking at some tall monuments as tall as the flag. That would be fairly costly. That y'all only budgeted about $28,000 for this. And so that's what they looked at. And again, I thought the idea was commendable, but the Park Commission just didn't want to kind of spend that type of money. Oops. So then we recommended, and City Council decided to do something much smaller. Again, we try to meet with the Park Commission. They have been unable to establish a quorum. They won't meet again until January. So if that's something y'all want to send back, then they won't meet again until January. Melinda was looking at benches like this, around $800, with a small monument sign, and that would be about $16,000. So we could do a small monument sign. If you're looking at some other examples of that, with some small kind of
Excuse me,
cement
Crystal,
benches.
what are the dimensions of that sign for 16,000? I can't really tell how tall and how wide is it? I'm just,
Dang it, I didn't ask
yeah.
Melinda. I don't know.
I mean, because,
We're gonna go with I don't know, but I can get that
okay,
information
that's
for you.
fine. I mean,
was
I
trying
mean,
to
it
see if
looks
was on there.
big, but.
Let me see, it may come up.
Yeah. Okay, I
maybe
didn't
here's
see
some
it in the packet. That's why I was
No.
asking.
No, my apologies.
I think if we
don't
have
know.
anything like this in front of us, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
You know.
So Melinda
So-
said that I'm pretty sure that this is probably like my height sign. Like, you know what I mean? Something, nothing
Okay.
overwhelming. It would be dedication to each of the service branches and be something like that, with maybe 1 or 2 of those cement benches.
Yeah.
And so she just kind of wanted some direction. We didn't want anytime y'all, allocate something in capital, we want to start getting a move on that. What it is that y'all were kind of looking at, what y'all were thinking. Do you want it to go back to the Park Commission? Are you okay with something like this? And then possibly location, and let me go back to the current.
Okay,
Originally, we were looking at
let her
putting it
finish.
close to the flagpole with the benches around, but maybe you want to put it where this sign is over here, away from the flagpole. So just kind of those kinds of things are the types of
Okay.
direction we're looking for.
All right, I know I have some counselors that would like to speak on this issue. Counselor Orozco, you're first, and then Counselor Mersch.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Crystal. I promised Mr. Rodriguez that I would champion this, and for at least 4 years, we've been working on this.
Oh.
And I promised him that if I would get elected again, that I would fight for this. But it's just not me getting this done. I want to thank my colleagues and the mayor for allowing me to go forward with this, not only to recognize our military personnel that have gone from Leon Valley, but everybody, in the surrounding areas. I've been thinking about this, and of course, I would love your input from my colleagues because you made it happen. If we can go back to the one for the $16,000 one.
Go back to 16,000.
This one right here, I really like this one, but I don't want it to be, which is Veterans Memorial. I want it to recognize every man and woman that has served our country and put themselves in harm's way, and also those that merit life. And then the other one, Crystal, where there's 3 three
But when
different
you,
ones.
when you, I'm sorry, just for clarification, so you said you wanted to recognize every man and woman, so what do you mean by that?
Well, if you go to the next one, there's, this one right here. I can't read it because I don't have my glasses, but what it says on there, I would love to
Oh,
have
you mean that one
on the other
dedicated to
one.
all who serve, that one?
Yes.
That one?
Can you,
Under
do you have your
country?
glasses? Can
This
you read
one?
it out?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Okay, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. So like this wording here,
Yes.
onto that one, okay.
Dedicated to all who served in our country's military, protecting our freedoms during times of peace and war. Oops, their love,
Sorry, you should be
that's okay.
there.
Their love of country and devotion to duty will be forever remembered. I like that.
See, I like
Yeah.
that. It represents everybody,
Yeah.
our men and women, and if we can just have something basic like that, and the $16 one, I think that'd be amazing. If I remember correctly, that I saw the one.
$16.
16,000, sorry, okay, so I'm a little bit
I'm
under
sorry.
budget.
Like, wow.
That, I think, will
We're getting a
reflect
bargain.
everybody's, view on it.
Here's the one from the website, kind of like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I see what you're saying, putting something,
And I think they were 5 by 6, if I remember correctly, the one that I saw.
I don't want to speak out of turn.
But I would love to have that one and put every military service at, like the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force on there. And something simple will make a huge difference. Again, let me thank my colleagues. It wasn't, I really didn't do it. You guys made this happen, and thank you.
You're welcome. So, yes, Counselor Merce.
I agree that that $16,000 design looks like the most practical and really the most dignified. And I really like his comments about taking the wording from that other thing. I think the key to this, though, and the question I had, but I know that nobody has the answer yet, is which way it would face, and is there a potential of having something on both sides? Because if you put it where the current sign is, you see it from the community center, but you don't see it from like the green space or approaching the community center. So it's kind of like you're
Like a
walking up
double-
the back of it.
Like a double-sided?
Yeah, to see whether, or to figure out what's the best perspective to put it in. Maybe it's more to kind of have it at a 10 o'clock space, kind of between the community center and the conference center, so that it's visible from a couple of different directions as you approach or park or whatever. I think the placement's going to be really important, because this one's really only visible from the community center, but not as you approach from the parking lot or the green space.
So I think the bench was supposed to kind of signify the direction, I think was the original kind of concept.
So like put a bench in front of
Right, so
the,
the bench would be, like close by, right? You need it set back a little bit. Let me see here, get there. This, like one of these benches to signify the direction that it's supposed to be seen at. So you should be able to sit at the bench and see it. So I think that's what the bench was for, was to signify direction, but I can get two answers for y'all. One, how big is it? One, and the other, whether or not it could be double-sided. And then maybe put a couple of placements for y'all, unless y'all want to go and like look at the area and kind of come back with an option for that.
We trust
I
your
know.
judgment.
Yeah. Okay, anyone on my left like to add to this conversation? Mr. Campos, Okay, I was just want to be sure. Okay, no one on this, yes,
So-
Mr. Black, oh, excuse me. Mr. Campos and then Mr. Blackmore.
In looking at the options, I do like that monument, the one we were talking about as the one there. And, last night I was looking at it as we were doing the lighting, and I was wondering, would it take the place of this sign here? I'd like to hear, I know that one of our colleagues has been on the Parks Commission. And maybe they can elaborate on what their objections are, because I just like to hear them.
In the
Danielle, go
discussions
ahead.
that we've had over the years about this, over the last 5 years, we've discussed it many, many times. What they really wanted was for the area to stay grassed, where kids could play soccer, they could play football. I guess this area gets used by a lot of different people for yoga classes, things like that, and they didn't want anything that would obstruct that. So when I'm thinking about putting a big cement kind of wall thing, listening to the conversations that we've had before about it, it would have to be kind of on the outs. Otherwise, it's going to be right in the middle of everything, and it's going to end up causing the problems that they're trying to prevent.
So
They wanted to do an amphitheater, and that was going to like build the whole area up with
yeah.
cement. It would cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But then we wouldn't have the green space anymore, and I guess people enjoy it for picnics.
Sure. So do you think we should send it back to the Park Commission out of respect, since they've given us input over all these years?
I would, yes.
Okay.
I
All right, I just
would.
was curious how you thought about that. Okay, Mr. Blackmore, I'm sorry, I didn't want to miss your comments as well. Thank you and welcome.
Name is Blackmore. I live in Leon Valley. I'm a veteran, over 20 years of service. Let me qualify what I'm getting ready to say. I'm a life member of the Veterans Foreign Wars, a life member of the Legion, and I respect Mr. Garrity a great deal, starting the Legion there here in Leon Valley. I'm also a life member of the DAV, Disabled American Veterans, a life member of the Security Police Association, and probably half a dozen other things, and War Dog program. I would really like this, but the city cannot afford this memorial. And by the way, it's God, duty, and country. It's what you had one thing on there. This city cannot afford this. It needs to go into our parks, into our roads, whatever else, our library, our building construction area, our police department, our fire department. Doesn't need to go on this. You have a lot of wealthy people in the VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, a lot of wealthy people in the Legion, disabled veterans. They came up with this idea. I'm not against it, but by George, they can have the car washes, get the money together to pay for this, and let them pay for it.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I got to say.
All righty, I appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Right. I know we had this discussion, and I know you reached out to Mr. Garrity about getting outside funding, and it was not,
It was
The
not
fruition,
financially
right?
feasible
Yeah,
for them.
right.
We
And
were just
so-
coming out of COVID, again, I keep bringing that up.
Yeah.
They have the financial obligations that they had to
Yeah.
fulfill. Contacted the American GI Forum, and they were also going through a difficult time. So I did make an effort. I was going to try again. But I think if we keep it at a reasonable cost, I know that at one time it was going about 40,000, 50,000. If we can keep it something as low as 16,000, we've been working on this for about 4 years now. And if we can just keep it at a reasonable cost, I think that it will be serving our men and women very well.
and I remember during the budget process, I mean, we were weighing all the cost and needs and whatnot, but at the end of the day, the consensus was to go ahead and put the 20,000 in the budget so that we could go forward with this
And-
project, because it's been 4 years at least.
Yeah, we've been
Yeah,
working on this
so-
for 4 years.
Yeah,
And as Mr. Blackmore had mentioned, there have been other priorities that we have put that money into. And finally, we got a bit of a break, and we're able to afford it now. Do we have other serious obligations that we have to fulfill? And that's our responsibility to make sure that those do happen. And I'll tell you, I don't know if I'm going to run again, but to the day that I leave here, I'm going to continue to work on that, to see what we can do for our streets, for our city. But this time, I think this is a well-deserved monument that we can do for our Leon Valley veterans and people who gave up their lives to make sure that Mr. Blackmore has a voice, that I have a voice, that we're here. And this is just $16,000 that we can really honor our men and women that put their name on the dotted line and say, I would die for this country. So.
Okay, so what's the direction then?
So can I
Yes.
give y'all what I think the direction is, and then
Okay.
y'all nod or?
Oh,
Yes.
okay, well, yeah.
So we can take the $16,000 option with like a bench and change the wording, come up with a placement on a diagram, and then take that to the park commission. In January. If they fail to meet in January, have a quorum, then we'll just bring it back to
Yeah.
y'all and just say, we tried again. If they meet, then they can discuss just that one option, not giving them the other three, just that one option and placement. And if they have, ideas on the wording or any other suggestions on placement, then we can bring that to y'all. Is that sound okay
I
to y'all?
so move.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We have a motion by Counselor Roscoe and a second by Counselor Campos to develop the one option of the $16,000 sign plus the bench and take it to the Park Commission in January for their input. If they don't have a quorum, then it'll come back to the council on January 21st, I think, or 22nd.
No, it'll be February because
It'll
the
be
park commission is the 4th, right?
No, it's the second Thursday.
Okay,
Mhm.
sorry. I don't
It's
know
the
why I
second
thought
Thursday. Is that, I think we can,
Okay, yes.
we can
yes,
put
yes,
it on
yes,
for, is that, if that's okay? All right, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, any further discussion?
Thank you, Doctor.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry. Okay, thank you very much. Moving then to announcements by the mayor and council members. Well, I just wanted to thank again everybody that came last night to the annual tree lighting. I thought it was a great turnout, and again, it took a team effort, the entire staff for organizing this event. And I know Crystal Miranda was at the forefront. And did y'all know that I asked the manager today, I said, how much did that doggone slide cost us with the snow? Because I thought, is that in the budget? And she facetiously said, Mayor, it cost $20,000. I'm like, what? And so it was donated by HEB, which I didn't know.
20,000 is 3,800.
Yeah, but it was donated by HEB, so good work, Crystal, because I know it was a lot of, people had a lot of fun with it. So anyway, it was a big hit. And of course, we had the Dunkin' Donuts, Poppies, and Raising Cane's, and then we had the Leon Valley Elementary Choir, Rudder Middle School, and the Timberwild Cheer Squad. So it was a great way to start the holiday season. So thank you, and especially to the Public Works for putting up all those lights. It was just very, very beautiful. And I want to just put a plug in for the Blue Santa program. There is a QR code that we can get on the e-news if you want to donate or drop your items off at the police station. So thank you for that. This Saturday's Breakfast with Santa. It's always a great event, 9 to, I see 11:30, I see 11, but anyway, please come. And if you want to get your tickets cheaper, then you have to go to the library and they'll give you a discount before Saturday. So like I think you buy $6 worth of tickets for $5, something like that. So anyway, hope to see you there. And then on Sunday, the Historical Society is having a cowboy Christmas at the Homestead from 2 to 5. Again, it's free admission, door prizes, games, picture with the Grinch, not with the Santa, but anyway, with the Grinch, carolers, and tamales and apple cider. So they're also encouraging you to bring an unwrapped gift for the Blue Santa if you come. So hope to see you there as well. We already talked about, I went back to the minutes and Dr. Caldera did announce that we received that $230,000 grant from AAMPO for our hike and bike. So, and then last but not least, Dr. Caldera and I spent about an hour today on a line about the San Antonio Climate Plan. Lots of good suggestions on how to reduce our carbon footprint. And so one thing I asked was to, and the ACOG's going to look into it, but have you seen, we've got these huge parking lots with no cars, but if we put a carport and you put solar on top of it, we would be contributing to renewable energy. And so they said there might be some grants out there, so we'll see. So that was one thing I asked. But anyway, for the most part, I thought it was good, and I just think it's really good information to share with the public. So anyway, so that was that. Okay, who's next? Yes, I was thinking of Dr. Caldera. You were going to piggyback on that. Mr. Compost, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mayor, you did mention it, but I think it's
Yeah.
worth saying again to thank all the Public Works staff for putting up all of those lights, and thanking all of the, the police officers that were there last night directing traffic. That was fantastic. So Chief, thank you very much, and thank your staff. For the fire department, thank you so much. I wanted to shout out also to Crystal Miranda.
Yeah.
I've been involved in this a number of years, and this particular lighting, there was a lot of people there. There was a lot of excitement. And whatever that social media buzz that she created, she did a wonderful job, and I hope that she hears this, that we want to commend her. I want to commend her
Sure.
for that work that she did. I also want to reiterate something that the mayor said about the Blue Santa program, that donations are needed. The fire department does an excellent job every year in putting this program together, and also wanted to make sure that everyone was to be aware that there's going to be an announcement, I guess, and a schedule for the Santa runs. So it's, and Chief, it's real important that we stay on that schedule because we had a party. One of my friends was throwing a party, and they came early. And so they had to redo that street, but not because of me, but because there was enough complaints, I guess. But it's an excellent thing that you do for this community. So, Chief, thank you for you and what your staff do. So that's what I had.
You're welcome. Okay. Counselor Heil, or Mayor Pro Tem Heil.
I actually, after the Friends of the Library were here last week, I really felt bad because we made them feel probably unappreciated. And they volunteer and they do a lot of work. And I actually talked to Mrs. Christensen, and I apologized to her because I said, we didn't mean to make you feel bad because we know what you do. And then I got to thinking, we have 66 volunteers in this city. And what do we do for them to make them feel appreciated? We never say thank you. We never say anything. Plus, the 6 of us are volunteers. And so we have 72 people, and we're not going to have a dinner for them. So what do we do to make them feel special and to thank them? And I don't know. I think it's something we should think about.
Okay.
And the other thing that I got to connect, I went to that patient appreciation.
Oh, yes. Thank you for
luncheon.
going to that. Yes.
And that was fun. That was really interesting. But I got to meet the CEO of the company, lovely lady, and she was looking for places where they could get the word out. And I suggested the Northwest Imaging, or Northwest, not Imaging, Northwest Seniors.
Oh, yes.
Have them come speak.
Definitely.
So I talked to Miss Jonas today. I asked her if she wanted to talk to them, so I connected the number, so they're going to talk to each other. So that worked out well.
Great.
So.
Well, thank you for participating. Really appreciate it. All right. Anyone else? Yes, Counselor Persh.
Again, I just want to, share the support and the thanks for Public Works, but I think it's amazing how the lighted area at the conference center and the community center has become a tradition for Leon Valley, and people bring their kids here year after year, and kids just love running through the lights and taking pictures in front of the lights and everything else, and I think we need to hold on to that tradition as we, deal with all the budget things. I know the Christmas tree lighting was saved and the lights were saved, even though they may need replacing or whatever. I think it's a valuable tradition, and the work that Public Works does to get ready starting in November for all of those amazing lights, and not just there, but in front of City Hall and everywhere else. But it just struck me last night, because I know I've brought my grandkids here for years and years and years, and it doesn't matter how old they are, they still love going and seeing them. So it's something that is really a small town touch that I think is very important for Leon Valley.
Thank you. Yes, Counselor Orozco.
Thank you, Mayor. And if I can just piggyback on what they're saying, thank you, Christian Miranda. Great job. I've been getting some great reviews about everything, and the police were out there in force, traffic and everything. It was just amazing. Also, I want to wish my wife happy birthday coming up this week, and we just had our anniversary. Been together for 18, married for 12, and I want to thank her for putting up with me. I want to thank the Texas Longhorns. Sorry, and I wish my colleague Best of luck in the playoffs for Aggies. Hope you win the championship.
Yeah.
And also, in a funny note, I want to thank one of my colleagues for checking up on me the next day. As most of you all know, I knew that I had a real serious sinus infection and had headaches and stuff at our last meeting. And she was saying that, you you look really bad, and you were leaning to the left, or you were leaning to the right, you know you were going to fall. I was going to go ahead and stop that. She goes, well, the reason I was leaning to the left is because my computer wasn't working, so I was leaning over here. And then Councilor Murch was not here, so I was leaning this way, and she thought I was falling down. So, but I want to thank you for checking up on me, but then again, you guys have a good Christmas, and
Oh, we still have another meeting. Did you
we're
forget
meeting
that?
the 16th.
Yeah, we are.
You are.
We are.
You are.
We are, yeah.
Okay.
You are too, okay.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Okay. That it? Okay, thank you all very much. So if there's no other announcements, I'll go to Dr. Caldera. Dr. Caldera?
Good
you're-
evening, Mayor and Council. I have posted your city manager's report. It's outside and available for you, as well as I emailed it to you all earlier this afternoon. I do want to wish a couple of our council members, Ray Orozco, an early happy birthday because yours is December 14th, so it's before our council meeting. And Mr. Campos' birthday was last week, the 23rd. So I want to wish both the council members a very happy birthday. Did get a question on the snow and you covered the slide, but the hats, somebody asked if we budgeted for the hats. Those were left over from the last tree lighting. If you remember, it was probably 100 degrees last year, and so they didn't go. We did pass out the hats, so all the council members that were council members last year got those hats last year. And so everybody has one. So
I just wish I had remembered it last night. It was so cold.
It was so cold. And so the hats were left over from last year, but they weren't budgeted in this fiscal year. And we did fix Mr. Orozco's computer, so he's no longer leaning. So again, that concludes my city manager's report.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, consent agenda 6.1 to 6.11. Anyone wish to remove any item for discussion? If not, may I have a motion to approve?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
All right, we have a motion by Councilor Campos and a second by Councilor Bolton to approve consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.11. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion does carry. We move to the regular agenda item. We have 3 agenda items this evening. Agenda item 7.1, presentation discussion to consider an ordinance amending Chapter 15, zoning, Section 15.02.327, PD, Plan Development District. First read was held on 10/21/25, and Dr. Caldera, our city manager, will present this evening. And welcome back.
Welcome back, Mayor Council. Sorry about that. Okay, so I kind of wanted to take this in piece. Thank you for those that submitted corrections for the PDD or your kind of thoughts for the PDD. I want to take this in chunks. So what we're going to talk about is the criteria percentage first. So I want to take a look at all of these points here, which y'all submitted. Oops. And all the ones highlighted are the ones that differ from the ones that staff proposed. And so once we determine this, then I will be able to calculate what the max or the minimum number of points will be in order to pass the PDD, and then we can bring back the other sections, because we did have a couple of council members wanting to change a few words in the actual PDD. But I want to get this done first, and then I'll come back at the next meeting with the cleaned up version of the points, the new minimum standard, and then any additional changes in the other portion of the PDD. So we can take it in chunks versus trying to inhale it all in one joke. So,
Okay.
if you okay with that?
Well, I'm just wondering, so we have to do the points, the 1 through 5 points before we can change anything on the minimum at the top? Is that
Right.
what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Because some people, I don't
See,
know
I
what
was thinking
points-
you changed that first and then you fit it in. But
No.
anyway.
So
Okay.
the minimum can be anything you want it to be. It could be a minimum of 100, a minimum of 50, a minimum
Okay.
of 30, a minimum of whatever you want it to be, the passing rate.
Okay.
But I figure once you know how many points you can actually have, then you'll know what the minimum should be. So because for instance, one of the council members proposed if somebody submitted a variance, they should get a -5 versus no point, you should lose points.
Oh,
So
okay.
you know
I
what I mean?
wasn't sure
So-
what that was.
So then if they
Okay.
have 10 variances or something, then it'd be minus 10 to the total score. So I don't know what that what your minimum would be if y'all decided to do something
Huh.
like that. I don't know what that would be.
Well, yeah. See, I increased it because I wanted to make it more difficult,
And that may
more
be the
difficult.
direction you would like to
But I
go
like
in.
the minus. I didn't think about that, you know? Go ahead.
I'm
That
sorry.
was
I
yours,
was really
Ms. Counselor
thinking that
Marsh.
they need to be penalized for veering away so widely from our standard ordinances and zoning regulations. Even though they're customizing,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a free-for-all. And so every variance they ask for, they should lose points, in my mind. I mean,
Okay.
they should be penalized, I guess is a better way.
What do you think, Counselor Campos?
So the way that I interpreted this was that there's no partial credit. So if they bring a variance, they
Yeah.
get a zero. And so to me,
Oh,
I
okay.
was under the impression, well,
Huh.
hell, you're going to bring one, that's your prerogative, but you're not getting any points.
Right, correct. So no
Okay.
variances give you
More
the
points. Yeah, that's right.
So.
Okay, I see. I hadn't thought about that, the
So,
zero.
let me see,
Yes,
no
Counselor
variance here.
Marsh.
So under community benefit,
Excuse me, Dr. Caldera, we have a question here.
So if there's only 20 points on this variance question, they lose that even though they may ask for, 10 variances, they still can only lose the 20 points? I mean, so do we need to make the point value very high so that there's a lot at risk if they get a zero? I mean,
I think that's
Yeah, go ahead. That's
why I was
wanted
trying to make it 25.
Okay.
So that it
That's
would,
what I did, too.
it would create that big difference.
What if we did like 5 points for one variance and then stacked it to where if they did a couple more variances, then it took off more points? You know, like if it was 1 to 2, they lost 5. If it was 3 to 4, then it was 15 or something like that to make it to where they'd have.
But what happens
Yeah.
if that one variance is a major
Yeah.
variance?
Oh, well,
yeah,
That's
no, you're right.
what
You're
concerns
right.
me.
You're right.
Yeah. All right, excuse me. Any other comments before we go on? Thank you, I'm sorry. I appreciate your,
it's really a discussion
well, I
between
think,
y'all.
I
It's
think,
not really
I think that's
between
what we
me.
need to do, is just,
I mean, just hash it out. So
Uh-huh.
like, if you want to take like, it looks like everybody kind of agreed on the 50% gross site green space. It looks like everybody kind of agreed. If you get to
Well-
the 20%, the mayor had that, go to 10, so it went down,
well,
but everybody else.
see, the
stayed
thing is, I
same.
couldn't, okay, when you look at it, you said maximum 30 points on the first one, open space,
Mm-hmm.
but it actually, when you added it up, it was 50 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, 10, 20, 35, 40. It's 40 points, and it says maximum 30, so that's why I was confused.
I think you get
Yeah.
either one, the 15 or the
The
20.
20, you can't get both.
Okay,
So if you had 20%, then you would get 15.
yeah.
And then the trail
So
system.
this is all, this is like a foreign language. I'm trying to understand it, you know?
So
It's-
what I try,
yeah.
forgive me, because I gave you all a month to do, so it's been like 3 or 4 months
Yeah,
since I
uh-huh.
kind of put it together, but that's kind of what I did, was kind of try to make sure, like, hey, you have a maximum, but you can change the maximums. So that's why over
Okay.
here, I didn't put any maximums for any
Right.
of these, because
Uh-huh.
if you change these, the maximum's gonna change here, your minimum's gonna change here.
Okay.
And so I'm just more curious, because remember, this isn't all adding up to 100. It could be 200 points. It could be 210 points. It's y'all, we think about it as schoolwork, right? Like y'all try to hit
Yeah.
that 100 points. And so for me, all I'm trying to do is what points do you want to allocate for these items? And if there was any additional items y'all wanted to add or consider. I'm just trying to do things that are very concrete, that there's an answer to, right? So,
Yes, Counselor
And
Campos.
I would like to change my value for the preserve all heritage trees to the 15
okay.
with the other counselors and the mayor.
And yeah, and I, on the 20% gross, I'll go back up to 15 on that, because that's really important, keep our green space. So I'd like to change that back to 15
Okay.
from 10.
Okay, so 15, heritage, to match everybody else.
You know,
15. Okay, 20%, 15.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
on the trail system connecting to
Yeah.
citywide network, my concern is, and this is just overall, I don't know if where we have in our code where a new development has to have a park or natural area.
No, but in your old master plan, they had a lot of connectivity, sustainability. That was a big, like, connectivity, multimodal transportation was very kind of like topic of conversation a few years
Well,
ago.
and don't each new development have to set aside
So
a
they're
certain
supposed to set
amount of,
aside of green
green
space.
space.
But
Yeah, it's in
trail
our-
system, the connectivity part is what he's saying, connecting to
Yeah.
the citywide network. That's not in there, it's just in the master plan.
Well,
And so, and I
it's-
know it's been kind of a topic here.
My concern is that as we get new developments or PDDs,
Developments.
that now we're asking the Public Works Department to maintain more property, to mow. And if we're going to say a trail, who's going to maintain that trail?
Sure.
And it's going to be the city, and that's my concern.
Okay.
okay. Did you have a comment on the trail, Ms. Mersch, since you had 10 on that?
She just
Well,
left it the same.
I left it the same, but the more I think about it, I would be willing to go down to 5 because I think it also depends on the location of the
yeah,
land that's being used
exactly.
for the PDD. It may be totally impractical to tie it into the trail system, so you're penalizing them for something that's out of their control. So I would make that a
Might not
lower.
even be close to a
point.
trail. you
Right,
know?
right.
So, yeah, okay.
Okay, so we're on that one. We did.
I think we have consensus on that then, if we've
Yeah,
changed it,
so
right?
far we have the 20%
Oh.
going to 15, heritage, the heritage tree going to 15, and trail going to 5, so that's great. Making some progress.
Okay,
And
so,
then, under community benefit, Mayor, you, under public improvement and public, street drainage and utility, you brought that down to 15 and
well,
everybody else
because,
left it the
you know,
same.
the way I was thinking is, isn't that the responsibility of the developer anyway? Do you know what I'm saying?
Not always, no.
Not always?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
So like, let's, for
So
instance.
give me an example, yeah.
Let's take, like Monte Robles, for instance, there's already public streets there. But
Yeah.
like, say somebody wanted to replat a good section of that and do like, I don't know, multiple homes on that section, or take a section and build like a small little subdivision in that section. The streets are already there. They wouldn't need any really public improvement. They would have to put in their own internal streets, but they wouldn't be contributing to the city's water source. Whereas you take a look at what happened at Seneca West, there were arterial streets that needed improvement. And so that's why we had to do the public improvement agreement with them. And so not all streets require a public improvement portion. They may not need a public improvement for water or sewer or any of that.
But to increase it to 20 would be encouraging that
Right, so
developer
like,
to do that.
correct. So like,
Okay,
for instance,
I
if they.
can change it to 20. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not, I just didn't, I kept thinking, no, it's their responsibility anyway. So that's why I brought it down.
Not if it's
So,
our street.
Okay. Counselor Heil.
I have a question about preserve all heritage trees. I think that's a wonderful idea. However, it may not be possible. I mean, if they're building something, there may be a heritage tree in the middle of the lot,
Sure.
and they can't build around it. So
They just don't get those points.
Yeah.
That's why there's a minimum point system, and this is a PDD. This isn't for any other type of zoning district. This criteria is only if somebody is coming for a PDD. And there are, like, I mean, we just had one, Image 360 is a prime example. They needed to do an expansion. They had a heritage tree. They tried to move the building 10 different ways. They couldn't get it to work, and they had to take down a heritage tree, and they had to come for a variance with that. That's not a PDD. That's just a normal variance. That's just how that works. But in this particular case, again, I'm going to use Monte Robles because that's what's just sticking in my head. You have beautiful oak trees there, and if somebody was trying to do that and they didn't want to place their homes accordingly and they were going to have to take it down, they just wouldn't get the points. But they could get points in other areas.
But it would also encourage them to try to work it out, you know, if they
Yes, if
could.
they could.
And I'm recalling that on the trail in El Verde, the trail that we had there, do you remember, Dr. Caldera, when we were designing that, there was a heritage tree that we saved?
Yes.
And so we
Yeah, we
kind
kinda
of
went around it,
We
yes.
went around it, so there are sometimes, you know, it takes money. It did cost us to.
City of
to-
Kyle spent $1 million
Yeah,
moving a
so,
heritage tree.
you know, so anyway, so I just think trees are, I mean, we're Tree City, USA. I mean, hello. It's important for our,
I think another
community.
comment about the heritage tree is that I think it is always an option for a developer to lose a lot to save a tree, but their efforts are always going to be towards profit. So they're going to say, oh, I can't figure out how to do this. I need to have this house and this lot. But when in fact, they could make that one lot a little green space and leave the heritage tree. So I think it really
encourages
forces
them.
the developer to think about the money part of it is not everything in terms of our perspective.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're going back to
So the next one
5%
would
of
be- yes,
residential?
5%
Okay.
of residential units. Ms. Marsh is the only one that ducked that 2 extra points to 3. I don't know how she
No,
feels about going back
no,
to
that's
5.
Mr. Campos.
I'm sorry, Mr. Campos.
Yeah. So tell me about that. Why did you reduce it to 3? What were you think? What was your thought process?
I'm not thinking that that's, while it has some importance, I don't know that in any of the PDDs that have been brought before us since I've been in the Planning and Zoning Commission and on the council, I've never seen them provide any consideration to that.
Yeah.
And so while I left it at 3, but I'm willing to leave it at 5.
Well,
But that was the reason behind it.
would you explain that a little bit more of what that means? 5% of residential unit at less than 80% median income.
So you take your median income, and so
Okay.
it's just this push for affordable housing in your
Okay,
area.
okay.
And it's kind of one of those parameters. And so when I was looking at it, I was thinking in my mind when I was trying to put something together, thinking of like a mixed use where you have business at the top and residential at the top of the building, or like apartment, pseudo apartment, or something like that. That a percentage of that be sold at the meeting, because a lot of conversation that
Okay.
happened at Seneca West and at Senna were that these houses were too expensive and nobody could afford to live there, and all of these that kept coming up. Who's going to pay that for these houses? And that just kept coming up over and over again. So I thought if you had a subdivision where you had 180 homes, I don't know if that will ever happen again, but in this Seneca West subdivision, I think the lowest home they were saying was going to be like 399,000 or something was the, so your median income here, gosh, it escapes me, but it's like 100 and something thousand, and so they would have to have a couple of homes of their whole 5% of their home, they would be able to get those points. It's not a big majority, but it kind of segregates a portion of them to be within your current median income, was my thought. But again, that's completely up to you.
And I was trying to apply it to the PDD that we approved on, was it Sawyer Road? Okay, where we had that condo
Yeah, right.
complex.
Yeah.
So then you're trying to allocate, okay, those different condos, and again.
Right.
I
So that
never-
would be hard too. I mean,
Yeah.
you could do it, but you could have the condos, but 5% of the condos, like 5% of, or you can make it less than 5%, but 5% of, say, 10 units or whatever that's going to be, 5% of that would be at your median income. That's all I was saying. But I was also only allocating 5 points, but I was trying to hit the ticker for affordable housing because that seems to be a topic of conversation lately.
Sure do
But
need it,
again,
yeah.
I mean, whatever y'all want to do, I'm not.
And what I was doing is, here's the logic that I had. I was trying to increase the sidewalks to 10,
Oh, okay.
and so I was using those other 3 and 2 to subtract the 5
I get
and,
it.
I see.
and keep it within that.
That range?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
that makes
that
sense.
was the reason behind that.
So are you opposed to 5? Would you like, anybody?
That's,
I'm just like, the example that I'm thinking of is like Grass Valley. You have an entire neighborhood of single-family homes, and then there's one street of duplexes.
So yes, that's a very good example, yes.
They have that one street right next to Posset is
Yes,
is
Cherry-
duplexes,
on
so
Cherry
that whoever that builder was forever ago had that 1% for the lower, I guess, SES.
Median income, I
Median income.
didn't put lower income, I didn't put like affordable
Well,
housing percentage.
Even medium income is, in today's economy.
Yeah, so I try to, because I say, if you say affordable housing, everybody gets
Yeah.
scared. So I said your current median income, because your current median income is higher than the state average. And so, it just kind of a,
So do you want to change that percentage?
yeah, I'll change it to 5
Okay.
for both of those. But I have no
And
problem.
5%
But
of
that was the
grocery is
logic
public
behind
space.
it.
Yeah.
I was trying to increase the no variance to 25, and so I decreased those points to get the additional 5 up there. That was the reason.
Same thing on your public art. I mean, I just was trying to put something fun.
I think we need to encourage
Well,
public
I was
art. I
thinking,
really do.
you know who I was thinking of? Rita Burnside.
She's always asking.
For public art. So that's the only thing. So if you're okay with leaving that
I'm
one at
looking
5
at
too.
5.
Okay.
I have no,
The next
The
one,
sidewalks on
bicycle
100%.
parking, less than racks per.
Now, is the
10 vehicle
sidewalks on
spaces.
100% of frontage and internal streets?
We at?
Wh-
Oh,
That's where we're
sorry,
at. Yeah,
I skipped
mobility
one.
and connectivity.
My apologies. Sidewalks on 100% of frontage and internal streets. Yeah, I mean, it's up to y'all.
you know, I thought that was important. I think
We
we
just
have
keep
some.
giving variances for those, so that's why I left it.
Well, maybe we should go up to 10. Let's go up to 10. Yeah, I think let's do that. That is important.
10?
I agree.
You're
that's
right.
very
People are
important.
walking in the streets.
And we have that situation happening to us in the, right behind that racetrack, the Linkwood area, where
Yep,
some houses have sidewalks and some don't.
Yeah,
And how that happened, I
right.
have no idea.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to increase ours to 10, right?
I agree
Okay,
with that.
let's do that.
Sidewalks, 10,
Awesome.
great.
Yep.
Which one are you increasing to 10?
The sidewalks
Okay.
on 100% of frontage and internal
that's fine,
streets.
okay.
Definitely.
And then
bicycle parking's next.
bicycle parking, Mr. Campos just went down 1 point. I think you're okay with going back to 5 points?
Yes,
to
I-
Be consistent with everybody else?
And then
And I
explain
agree
the,
with Campos on the 5% parking spaces for EV charging. It's significant. And also as far as the bicycle parking, I think he brought it down to 4. I was going to bring it down as well. I was going to be going with the staff's recommendation, except for those 2 things. I was going to lower those. But
So he said
I'll
he
go
was
with
okay
Campos'
with
recommendation.
5. Are you okay with 5?
on
The
bicycle?
bicycles. I'm just trying to go back. I just want to make sure I hit
Yeah,
them all.
well, you had a recommendation,
I was
Campos
okay.
wanted to bring it down to 4.
Yes, but he
I'm-
just
I'm okay
recommended
to
bringing it to
back to
5, just to be
then, yeah.
consistent. Okay, so bicycles are 4. Okay, now we can talk about the EV
Yeah.
charging, 5%.
Yeah, EV cars are really coming into, what about the 3 ADA enhancements beyond federal minimum? We don't need to worry
Nobody
about
had any
that.
comments on that. I was just
So,
going to the
but-
ones that had changes.
Okay, so explain that, though. What was your thinking behind that?
So I took this from, I stole it from one of the cities. When I
Okay.
gave, in the last one, I gave you a whole bunch of them. Somebody
Okay.
had that they gave extra points or like gave them for additional ADA type accommodations. So whether it's, I think this one's on parking, but it was also like if they had like if they donated parkland and they put a playground in there and they had handicap accessible
Okay.
playground, or they did, a trail that was handy, something that would benefit the community. So I was kind of
Okay.
thinking like Mr. Deeker, when he was kind of trying to walk through the neighborhoods and stuff like that, if his neighborhood had ADA stuff, and so one of the cities
Thank you
was
for
real
that
good with that. So,
example. Yeah, I appreciate that.
so that's what I was, and so again, it was kind of one of those that I don't have a whole lot of experience in or knowledge in when building. But I think that city, if I'm not mistaken, they were trying to hit their ADA plan to come into
Yeah.
compliance, so they just added that as one of the.
Would it be like the new subdivision, like Senna, or the one in where they would, they put in the streets, but they put
put
the
in the ramps,
handicap
yes.
ramps? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, okay. Okay, so 5% of parking space with EV charging, we're all going back up to 5. Yes, Ms. Mersch.
I guess
Councilor Mersch.
I'm ignorant in some of this EV charging stuff, but if they're homes or something that people buy, a townhouse or something, wouldn't they be responsible for making sure that they could charge their electric vehicle in their garage or whatever? So who would be paying for this EV charging? You know what I'm saying?
So this is, I mean, y'all are thinking about it as a residential, like, because that's what we see most commonly, but it's not always residential.
Okay.
You could do a PDD for a business district. WellMed is a really good example of a PD that really wasn't completely residential in the beginning. He put some homes, if you go past there's some homes in the back, some tiny homes in the back that he rents out off of Band Air Road. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. But if you're
Really?
if you go by WellMed down Band Air Road,
That's
Additional
really,
homes right
we
there.
were talking about what's our mixed-use example, and
That's
that's
a
what
good
you
one.
gave me.
Yeah, that's a decent one. But yeah, so he has office in the lot is kind of rectangle, so it was deep. And so his best use was to put business in the front because it was frontage Bandera Road, but then he put some tiny homes in the back that he rents out. So you could have EV stations there. He's renting out those tiny homes. They don't buy those tiny homes. And so he could put in EV charging as part of that PDD plan. The condos is another kind of good example. They could put in the EV charging for the people that are renting, you know, because sometimes you rent a space as part of the condo lease, or maybe you buy the space. I don't know what Samir's going to do with the Sawyer Road property after all, or like what, you know, I haven't heard of anything lately. And so something to that nature, if he's going to put in POS, he also owns POS. And so if he does something that's like apartment, business, PD situation was what he was trying to do there, EV stations would go in, something like that.
Or in the public amenities area.
Or a public amenities area. Oh, that's a good example, like if the park that they donated. Thank you, Art.
Oh, okay.
Please
They-
join
That's
this
where they would put the EV. That's where they would put the EV.
Yeah, you could put it
Okay,
there.
and-
yeah.
okay.
And,
That's
and
another
I'm fine with the 5, but here's the, again, trying to reallocate points. But I'm not sure unless we have a change in our current administration at the federal level, as well as at the state level. They're trying to get away from EVs. And it's a shame, but that's how I see the wind blowing. And I don't know if Chevrolet or GM, to be broader, said that they may be doing away with that.
I don't see EVs going away. I really don't. I
Oh, we
just-
just need to-
yeah.
People have to start replacing their batteries that cost $10,000, and then I think we're gonna have to revisit. There's only so much lithium in the world. I mean,
But I'm fine with the 5.
Okay.
Okay.
as we talked about in the thing.
And so then the next thing that had, you know, some differing numbers was down in the green building certification, the LEED silver or
Oh,
equivalent.
okay. I know why I put 5 there, is because, do you remember, Dr. Caldera, when we had that, the SStat, Sustainability Development, okay, and that, we had all these goals, and that's where the 10,000 trees came out of. Well, one of our goals was to say that we were going to do silver or LEED, gold, whatever, buildings.
Yeah.
And it never came to fruition because it's very, very expensive.
Very expensive and
So
hard to
that's
do.
why I reduced it, so.
So that's up to y'all. I was
Yeah.
just trying to, I mean.
Not that I don't want it, but
Yeah,
it's just,
it is
it's
hard.
in, it's very,
Well, it was hard
and-
for us.
yeah. But
We have existing
most of the
infrastructure.
building these days is what they're telling me, it's already energy efficient. So you don't really need LEED anymore, but I don't know, what do y'all think? Yes, Counselor Mersch.
I would definitely be willing to lower my score to a 5 on that one, too.
Okay, and you'd already lowered yours.
Right, and
Yeah.
the reason, again, I deducted the points because I thought the stormwater features beyond the minimum was more important to me.
Sure.
And and so that's why I.
Yeah, I
didn't-
like the stormwater features too.
Okay, so stormwater to go up to
Yeah.
10?
I'll
And
go
I-
up to 10.
Yeah,
And I think I did not understand the last one.
the screening.
Maybe I just made it up. No, hold on. Screen, lodging area facade. Oh, you
No
know what I was
blank
thinking of? So I was trying, so I don't like blank walls. And so Evers Road is probably the prime example of that. I probably wouldn't have allowed wooden fences to go along Evers Road because they just become graffiti. You do non-facade, so like ivy type
Okay.
fencing is kind of what that is. It's just more of like not a no blank, that's no blank walls. And so that way it reduces graffiti. And so there's different modulars and things that you can do now. But anything that faces like Huebner, the fence that's going to be at the new subdivision, it's going to be graffitied on, like it's inevitable. And then we power wash them. And so what ends up happening if you go down Evers Road, it is, one of my triggers because I don't like the way the fences look going down Evers Road. Like some of
no.
them look okay and then they get bad and we've priced them out and we've looked
It's
at
$1
different
million.
options over there. Yeah, it's a lot. And so
About-
to make the developer more responsible for putting something that they can't graffiti on, that we don't have to go constantly clean. And all the studies say, live vegetation is the way to go, bushes, those kinds of things. But then, of course, you've got to pay to maintain them. But we looked at doing bushes along Evers Road at one point to stop just to block the fence. And so maybe that's something we can consider in the future
Well,
again. But
I remember, I mean, I'm talking years ago, but Walter, we had a business community, and they came with a proposal
Yes.
for changing, well, putting another fence in front of the
fence.
existing fences, and so Melinda,
yeah, and we got it
it was $1
looked
million,
at. It was,
yeah.
it was at the
Yeah.
time, so I can only imagine.
Yeah, it
what
was $1
now.
million at the time, yeah.
But if a developer wanted to put it, and I did, it is expensive to do,
Yeah,
and so it's 5 points, that's what that was.
Exactly.
Okay, so now you got the point.
Okay.
I do want to briefly talk before I go, before we move on to the next item. A couple of y'all had a couple of suggestions on the minimum points, and so I saw 70, I saw 65, I think
I
was
did
one,
80.
and then somebody went up to 80.
I
So
did 80.
y'all want to go higher? Y'all want to go lower? Kind of thoughts on that?
Go ahead, I wanted to go higher.
I
It's a
don't know what the
superior
number
development,
is. I don't know what the
remember?
number is, but I think I finally understand your process where we keep trying to make everything come to 100% or a passing score is 70, and we need to just kind of throw that out. So in my mind, we need to take the points that we've now allocated to each of these, and given the ones that most builders are not likely to get, I think that's how we should back into our minimum point. So the ones that are really important to us or that are very doable for the average thing. So some of these 5 points that are the green building or the no
The
blank walls
screening,
or whatever.
yeah, we could take
kind of
out.
assume that most builders are not going to meet those criteria and kind of back into our minimum.
So why don't we do this? I'm gonna give y'all just a little bit of homework. Why don't, I'll redo the score sheet and I'll send it out to y'all. And then for our next meeting in December, because it's a light agenda in December, so I wanna hopefully kind of get this tied up. I'm gonna bring back some other changes, clean that up, and then whatever y'all give me as a minimum score, so if y'all wanna go do that homework, then I can plug that in for the next conversation, if y'all wanna do that. Unless y'all wanna have more conversation, I'm okay with that
Okay.
today.
Sounds okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, did you have something,
Are we
Counselor?
gonna go over the wording part next?
That's
or-
the that's the next
time. So I try to
yeah.
take it in chunks
Okay.
for y'all. I didn't know how long we were gonna spend going through the points, and so I didn't want to keep y'all here too long. So I probably could have brought a couple of sections, but Ms. Mersha's the only one that's really submitted changes to the wording piece. And so if you have additional changes, send them to me, and I'll prep for the next
I'll
time.
relook at it. I had one change, but
yeah.
it was not, but I didn't, go through it
Yeah.
with a fine
And I
tooth comb.
included her changes in
Right.
the
Yeah.
packet,
I
so
did
if y'all
see.
agree with some of those, then just let me know.
I just had a question.
Oh, sure.
So on section B, 1 and 2,
Did I include it in here? No, I wasn't that smart.
they seem to go against one another.
Okay.
And here's,
Did you read that, or?
it says, applicability, the PD district shall only be established in one or more of the following circumstances. And it says, 1, the land is proposed for development as a mixed-use development or a traditional neighborhood development requiring more flexible and innovative design standards. That's number 1. And number 2 is the land is located in close proximity to established residential neighborhoods where standard zoning classifications may not adequately address neighborhood concerns regarding the quality or compatibility of the adjacent development, and where it may be desirable to the neighborhood, the developer, or the city to develop and implement mutually agreeable enforceable development standards. Okay? To me, they seem to.
Contradict.
Right. They go against each other because looking at Seneca West.
Yeah.
Okay, we had an established neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And
did.
we had the input from that neighborhood, and yet it didn't matter. I mean, and it was, I know they had the votes. They had the votes, okay? But because the developer knew they had the votes, in my opinion, I don't believe he was as forthcoming as they were on the trilogy.
Okay.
Okay? And we tried to make so that there weren't so many variances, but man, it was just like a railroad. And it didn't matter what the neighborhood, existing neighborhood.
It's a good
wanted.
example.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
Sure. So what I will do is let me work on that language a little bit. I was focusing on the number and the criteria first. So I'll bring back some suggested changes on the wording because I do want to cut some of it out because now that you have a criteria, some of the wording is just, in my opinion, fluff. Because your real bearing is going to be whether or not it passes this score sheet to even come to you, right? Like this is the planning and zoning director will do the score sheet, and if it gets the minimum points, then it will come to you. If it doesn't meet, like if they don't hit the minimum points for a PDD, y'all wouldn't even see it. And so I need to kind of look and see if that wording needs to change.
Yes, Counselor Mersch.
I know that I'm going to miss the next meeting, and I apologize for that, but I just want to explain that when I underlined things in the wording, I felt that it was very fluffy language that nobody could pinpoint exactly what it looked like, what it meant, and I think we need to avoid this abstract language as much as possible. And to me, higher quality and innovative and flexible, it means whatever the developer wants it to mean, and we don't have a definition to say, no, that doesn't pass the bar or whatever. And so I really felt like a lot of our issues were tied to the language that was so nebulous that they could make it whatever they wanted to. And that's what, and I guess my other underlying feeling about this whole PDD is somehow the developer must be brought to prove that it meets our criteria. They can't just say it meets it. They can't just use fluffy language to infer that it meets it, but they have to give us, number one, number two. And I think our point system is going to be a really important step to getting there. But I think also it needs to be very hard and fast that they have to prove it. It's kind of.
I think I put that language in my amended changes.
Okay.
As part of the process piece.
Like brick, stone,
Yeah.
fiber, cement.
Yeah, I think I put it in but when I come back the next time, so I was trying to tackle this piece and then we'll tackle the wording. I know you won't be here, but I don't think the council's gonna do a final vote
No,
next time
I don't think
anyway.
so either.
I wanted this to be a real conversation and I learned a long time ago, if I take it all as one big long ordinance, we'll be here till midnight. So I like to
Okay.
take it in sections.
But I noticed that you do have underlined, but you don't have any suggested wording.
Well, some of it may just
You know,
be deleted.
Okay,
Like,
and
I may
then you
just
have
take it out.
X's. What does X's mean? Like residential?
Oh,
Yeah,
the X's
you have
meant
X's.
that
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know that those things should, they can't be
included?
varied. Those standards that I've Xed out should not be negotiable in my mind. Like the residential density or the lot coverage. We should have space between two houses and parking it should be appropriate. And to me, those are non-negotiables, so they should not be allowed to be varied from the standards.
But you're allowed by law to do variances. So like that's like.
So we've
that's
gotta
kinda-
follow the law.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to allow them to have to bring forth. Now, it's the council's duty not to accept those variances.
Right.
But if they want to reduce their street size, you may not want that as part of the PDD, but they have a right to any part of any ordinance to come to
Ask for a
council and ask for a
variance.
variance.
Okay.
That's
All right.
their appeals or due
Okay.
process.
Uh-huh.
Counselor Campos.
Thank you, Mayor. So just, I asked this question the first time this was brought up, the chart was brought up, and my first question was, can this be appealed?
Yes.
So they got less than whatever the minimum is. So right now it's 70. If they disagree,
No.
okay.
And y'all can change that as part of the ordinance. My thought process is we would wait to be challenged. So if somebody says, I don't agree with the staff, then everybody's gonna be trying to appeal
Right.
it. The answer is no, sue me, see you in court. Like, at some point, No, because at some point you get into this, like, we don't want to change, if you want to have a PDD and you want to have criteria,
Let me ask you. what
yeah,
your-
I mean,
let me
he
ask
did the
you,
last
would-
time, he
would
answered
you-
it the last
Yeah,
time.
would you, well, just, it's been months, so would you weigh in on that again? What do you?
On the question as
I
to
mean,
whether,
We can appeal it and we'd be subject to lawsuits or
well,
whatever.
sure, I mean, you can be sued for anything,
That's
okay?
true. That's
So let
true.
me just put that out. And then so if someone doesn't like the manner in which the ordinance is implemented, they could potentially bring a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
But I am of the opinion that if we've got the criteria that is established, and even the words on here can be defined a little bit, can be tightened up a little bit as well, right? But for instance, I mean, your ordinance currently allows for some appellate process in the variance process, as well as that's why we have a BOA, because that's an appellate process, right? So in order to give complete due process, there might be some manner in which y'all might want to consider a variance, not a variance, but an appeal from the planning director. It could go to the city manager. The city manager could then could then be the appellate process. It doesn't always have to come to you, is what my point is. But as long as there's a process and standards that are set, I think that it should be able to withstand
Probably need to
scrutiny.
put that in, yeah. Okay,
And-
great. Yes, sir, go
and
ahead.
Then I had just one other thought, is that in the required
The
documents.
facade.
No, what are their water requirements?
Oh, that's a, I mean,
Did you say watering?
Water requirements. So we have so many water rights, and because of the new developments, we had to go out and purchase more
Have it
water.
covered, yeah.
Now, we updated our impact fee, okay? But there was some legislation that didn't pass that will affect how often we can do impact fee studies. And so what I don't want to be caught short is that the next time the legislature meets, that we're behind the curve. And so I think we would want to understand how many, whether, there's lots of terms, and I'm not going to, but how much water they're going to need. It's
units,
equivalent dwelling units, they call them EDUs, and then what is, if we can come up with some calculation of what our average usage of water for our citizens, and
Okay,
So,
let me talk to
Okay.
Melinda on that one. I
Okay.
don't know if there
Yeah.
is or there isn't.
Okay, so Ms. Mersch supports that as well. And so I think, yeah, water is,
Yeah,
hey,
water's
Corpus is running out of water. It's on the front page. I mean, they really in a deep, deep bind. Okay, so we've got,
I got some direction. I'll
Okay.
bring back the updated criteria. I'll email it out to y'all.
okay, so do you want our input back by when?
Well, if you want it at the next meeting, I need it tomorrow.
Oh, good. See, I knew that was going to come. Okay.
So the big thing, that's why the only homework I gave you is what you want your minimum points to be, because I think most of y'all, if, could give me what you want the minimum
Okay,
points
so we've
to be.
got that taken care of. So
Correct.
it's
The
only
wor-
the
Right.
the body
wording-
of the
wording- Y'all were supposed to
PDD.
get that to me a month ago. I gave y'all the whole
Yeah.
ordinance, the only one who
I only had that
complied.
one, but I'll look it over
But you
again.
can look it over if you have any other suggested changes. Then I'm more than, and there's a lot. I mean, I gave y'all my recommended amendments to that portion as well. But now that I have these, I have more changes to that wording. So I'm gonna go in and kind of do that amendment and send that to y'all.
Okay, so we'll get the criteria plus the PDD amendments cleaned up that you want us to look at again. for
I
the
won't,
next
I mean,
meeting.
I'm not gonna give y'all them, I mean, I'm gonna give you the criteria, I just need the minimum score. The amendment portion of
Yeah.
it, that's in your packet, I mean, I've
Yeah,
given
I
it to
saw
y'all
it.
3
Yeah,
times.
so-
So, if y'all have any changes to the amendments that I've already submitted to y'all, then, which she did,
But-
she scratched.
So are you
through.
going to take Counselor Mersch's changes and then amend it
Not
that
all
way?
of them, 'cause
Okay.
some of them are, not all of them, but I'm gonna put some of them in
Yeah,
there, and then y'all
okay.
can have a discussion, and we
Okay,
can go, I
all
can
right,
let you know
sounds
what I
good.
didn't include or not
I
include.
just got one question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And Dr. Cardera, the appeal process, is that going to be in the language
Yeah,
there?
so your appeals process in your zoning code, it goes to the Board of Adjustments, is the way
Right.
it works already. The way I was, setting up this process was for the worksheet to qualify, not whether or not the PDD would be allowed. This was just like, do they have the minimum standards to even be a PDD? Like what we all had before was very ambiguous language. And so then the developers were saying we qualified for a PDD, and that criteria you currently have listed was very like vague. And so that's how you got all these PDDs to kind of come in here. And as part of the PDD, they were asking for a whole bunch of variances as part of the PDD process. So instead of bringing you, I'm doing a subdivision and I'm asking for a variance on street size, they were coming for a PDD and having all these variances as part of their site plan. So this would prevent that. This would just be a worksheet to see if they qualify to be a PDD. If they qualified to be a PDD, then they would come to y'all. If y'all said no, then normally they would go to the Board of
So
Adjustments.
it's not going to go to you, it's going to come to us then?
Yes, so so once they qualify as a PDD, so my goal is to get, if they're coming for a PDD, to say, hey, you don't meet the minimum score, go find some more points, right? Like, that's essentially what it is. Go find some more points, and maybe they add a bike lane, they add an EV thing, they come back, say, okay, we now hit your points as part of our site plan. Great, then we bring that PDD to y'all and say, hey, they hit the minimum score, and say the council says, no, we don't want this development, then their appeals process is normally like Board of Adjustments, or they keep coming back to council, or they bring it, whatever that looks like. Okay,
So the language is going to be in there, so that's.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, are we going to have that worksheet for the next meeting as well?
what worksheet?
You were talking about a worksheet.
This worksheet, that's this worksheet.
Okay, so it's, okay,
The points,
okay,
that's the worksheet.
okay.
So they would
The
fill-
criteria equals worksheet. I didn't know that, didn't say that, so, okay.
well, so the- so the-
Sorry,
sorry,
I'm
no,
a
no.
very, yeah, okay.
No, no,
Just
so
wanted to
the
be
wor-
sure.
The way the
Okay.
process, or the way I wrote the ordinance was, the way the process is step number one, the developer submits a site plan, filling out this worksheet,
Okay. And then he gets
allocating the
the
points,
points.
the
Okay,
minimum
got it.
points, say they
Yeah.
hit 65, and because these
I
are
thought it was
so.
a different sheet.
These are so like no variant, like everything heritage tree, like
Mm-hmm.
everything is so concrete, and you know, and of course I'll check with the attorney and see if we can clean up some of the wording and make it
That'd be great if you could do that.
more
Yeah.
concrete. But to get it concrete, then they fill out the points. If they get the minimum points, then we bring it back to council. If they don't, then the staff's job is say, hey, it's denied, you don't hit the minimum points, go find more points.
Gotcha.
So it's up to them to do the work to hit the minimum point standards to qualify for the PDD zoning allocation, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't mean to ask you to repeat
No,
it,
no,
but
no, no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no, not a problem.
Okay, so we're all good, right? All right, so then we move on then to 7.2, discussion and possible action on a resolution waiving open record charges for open record request OR 2025-622, and we have Sandra Postley, our city secretary, here this evening to present. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
For
Happy
$41.
belated birthday, and happy early birthday, and happy birthday, Mayor.
Okay.
I am bringing this item to you because I'm not going to really need to go through this, but back in '21, a waiver request was brought to the council, and it was for a good amount of money. The council did vote to waive those fees based on it being of public interest, the release of these records. But at that time, I think Dr. Caldera was almost city manager, or maybe still assistant city manager, but we were given direction that if somebody put it in writing to ask for a record waiver, it would be brought to you. So I have a requester who, he received part of his request at no charge, because I don't charge for those records, but he did also, in his request, ask for body cam video. That he does not want to pay for. It is $41. He was a little upset. I did ask that, he come tonight. I don't see him here. But I did tell him his only option was to get a waiver from y'all, because we cannot waive it. So it is $41. body cam.
I thought in the past we have denied open record requests.
Dr. Caldera and I were trying to remember, we
Thought
know
we
we brought you
had.
one in 21 in November for Mr. Pulliam, and those were done, but there might have been one more that may have been denied. We're
Yeah,
not sure.
We can't find it. I can't,
Well,
so
you
I
can't
thought-
find it 'cause it's
I thought we
been
did
destroyed.
too. I thought we
remember
did
one
too.
being denied because it wasn't,
Uh-huh.
the information request, it wasn't public best interest.
Uh-huh.
What Mr. Pulliam was asking for was a lot of records about a lot of different things, and so it was a public interest. And so, I don't know.
Those record requests from those two, possible two, those have been, I couldn't go back because those have been destroyed because
Yeah.
there's a 2-year retention
So,
period.
But does he need it for like personally?
I
for-
can't ask.
Oh, you can't ask?
No, ma'am.
Oh. And
I'm not
usually
allowed
if
to
it's a
ask what the
lawsuit, then the
purpose-
law firm would ask for it. You know,
It
we
does-
see
I mean,
that.
watching the video, it doesn't appear to be, but I would be
Okay.
completely guessing.
And
but-
is he requesting it based on not able to afford to pay for
He
it?
did say that, yes, he
Okay.
cannot afford to do that. He said
All
he's a veteran, he's
Okay.
disabled. I put the email
Yeah,
correspondence.
I
in
saw
the
that
packet.
one line that he kept referring to. Okay, all right. Counselor Orozco, you had a comment. I did?
Yes, I
Yeah.
was going to ask this, is there a financial hardship
Right, I didn't say that
involved in
good,
this,
but-
and his reasoning behind this?
Yeah.
Is this-
I just,
Are we able to find out exactly what, I think you did mention this, what is this body camera video about?
I don't want to embarrass the individual,
Okay,
and so
then,
I didn't want to
that's
release
fine.
it to you. Or not that I didn't want to release it to you, but I didn't want, one, it's too large for me to email. But if
It
you
was
want to
just
see
a
it, you
call.
can certainly come to my office or Sandra's office and we can show you the video if you are interested in
and
it.
does a person have to give proof of his financial?
No.
Okay, he does not. Okay, I just was curious.
Is he a Leon Valley citizen?
He
Apparently not.
So he,
I don't know.
he is
currently.
currently a temporary Leon Valley resident.
Oh,
Does he pay temporary taxes?
do.
No.
No.
Well, it's kind of like, you know,
I'm trying not to embarrass the individual. We just have to bring you a few
I
waivers.
totally understand, Doctor, yes.
I'm just,
I mean,
but I'm more than happy to, if somebody was, I'm more than happy to talk off
but it,
mic.
I don't know. It's kind of like if we waive one, then
Yep.
we open up it's, it's just kind of what we've always talked about. So I don't know. What do y'all want to do? Counselor Mersch and then Counselor Campos.
I agree with you that if we open this door, that we waive it for anyone who asks for an open records request. And I do see that body camera video is different than a piece of paper that can be copied because people are having to review it and make sure they get the right sections of it and all sorts of other things. I would not be in favor of waiving this fee because one, I appreciate anybody's financial hardship, but $41 isn't that much of a hardship. I mean, it's not, in my mind, an unreasonable charge for getting a copy of body cam videos, so.
Okay. Counselor Campos.
I will say that the gentleman was given the 3 options that I am legally required to give him, which is he can modify his request, he can have an appointment to sit with the officer and watch it, which there are ways they record it. No, there are ways that, they can get what they need without, they can modify their request. And he did not want to do that. He just wants the waiver.
Oh,
So
okay. All right. Yes, Counselor Campos. So
I
he does
agree
have
with
some
Counselor
options.
Mersch. I don't believe this is an excessive fee. I know there's probably things that we may have to redact, I'm not sure. But if this is our normal practice, I would just say I would not be in favor of waiving the fee.
Okay. Anyone else feel differently? Yes.
What's the
Counselor-
recourse if we say no to this? All right,
None.
okay.
All right. Anyone else have anything else to say? All right, so we'll need a motion for this.
Let me.
Oh, go ahead. You want to?
Well, the only recourse might be is that he might go to the Attorney General to determine that our fee is unreasonable,
Excessive?
excessive.
But it means it's not.
But but as long as we're complying with the AG's adopted
Yeah.
fee schedule, it's presumptively valid. So that's,
It's the adopted city fee as
Right.
well, yeah.
Okay, very good. Yes, Counselor Mersch.
I move that we deny the request to waive the open records request
I'll
fee
let you have
for
it.
this temporary citizen.
All right. Is there a second? All right, so we have a motion by Counselor Mersch and a second by Counselor Campos to deny this request to waive this open records charges for this 7.2. Any further discussion? Yes, Counselor
How long
Heil.
ago was this incident that he's requesting this information from?
I do so many record requests, I
Okay.
would be guessing. It was, I think, this year,
Okay,
but, yeah, I think maybe July.
okay, that's fine, thank you.
All right. So all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry. Thank you. Appreciate you bringing it to us. Moving then to 7.3, presentation, discussion, and possible action to provide a fee waiver for the use of the Irene Baldridge Community Center or Conference Center for city personnel that has been employed with the city of Leon Valley for 25-plus years. And Dr. Caldera is going to present this evening.
Hi, good
Welcome
evening,
back.
Mayor and Council.
Yes.
So of course, everybody knows, I sent this in the city manager's report. It does come up on occasion, though, where I have long-term employees want to do something at the Leon Valley Community Center or Conference Center, whether it's a send-off or something of that nature. But because we charge for the use of the community and conference center, I don't feel like it was in my purview to allow city staff to use it, whether for a retirement party or graduation, whatever it is. Like, we don't have just unfeathered access to the community and or conference center. So I'm just bringing back a policy change to add it to a benefit for long-term staff, any staff, that if they've been here for 25-plus years, they get one fee waiver as part of like a benefit package.
Oh, just one fee waiver.
Just one fee,
Okay.
one time, one fee waiver. If they've been here 25 years, for either the community or conference center.
But again, they're still going to pay the
They
cleaning,
would pay the
security, and
cleaning and
deposit.
security
Yeah.
fee and the deposit. If we did, so I know it came up, it's just too hard to go around it. But like, Melinda's getting ready to retire. When I got here, I was here when Jeanette Honorman left, and they did a whole hoopla. They used city funds. They bought the food, they paid the whole thing. We can't use taxpayer dollars to pay for somebody's send-off. And so the staff that wants to donate some money to buy some food, but of course we can't pay for the rental of the facility to be able to do that for her. The general public has approached me. They would love to say goodbyes to Melinda in a more informal gathering than a council meeting that we normally typically do. So this is brought up because she's getting ready to retire, but I know it's been brought up in the past, and we have other city employees that, Vicki Walsh is a good example of, people wanted to do a send-off for her, and she didn't really want anything, and we kind of just left it alone. Melinda's beloved in the city, so I'm getting a lot of requests from the general public and from city staff and from council members that are, want to do something a little bit special for her. And so if we do this with some donations, we would do, a cake, some punch, maybe a light appetizer or something for the public to be able to come from like 5:30 to 7. We can give her award there instead of a council meeting. Ask her if she would please invite her family, and her family can be there, and we can say some nice things about Melinda's service. And so that's kind of the thought process. And so, but this would not be just for Melinda. This would be for any staff that served 25-plus years or more, moving forward, so.
And how many would that affect, Doctor? How many you got 25 and over?
25 and over, 2 more, so Jimmy, Ben,
Okay.
over the time, eventually, maybe I'll get there.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah, and I was going to say, you and I had discussed this, and it was originally 30. And I said.
Yes, and
I
she,
said,
the mayor's,
I said,
she's like, she
how
said
about 25? That's a quarter of a century that you've worked here. So I appreciate you
Yes,
lowering
yes,
it, so, okay. I don't have a problem with this, I really don't, but what do y'all think? Counselor Campos?
So I'm in favor of this, but I took it, so I thought it would be a natural thing that for anyone who's over 25 years that we wouldn't need a waiver. This is really the use of our own facility What I thought this was, is that someone who, an employee would say, hey, I've got a graduation for my grandson or granddaughter, I'm going to have a quinceañera. I thought that's what we were talking about.
That's
Yeah, that's what I
that too.
thought.
But that's that too. So anybody that served 25 gets one fee waiver. So however they want to use it.
Yeah,
I'm just
gotcha.
using it in this particular case to
For
say, to
for
do
Melinda.
for Melinda. It was
Well-
just a way for me to do it. She, and so.
I think the city should clearly allow, not have this, it's a one-time event for our employees.
Yeah.
To send them off.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to have in my opinion, a waiver. I thought it was an outside use.
Yeah.
But I'm in favor of
Of doing it. So I was doing it encompassing, so I couldn't, we charge, right, like Earthwise Living, we put the price for 4th of July. I wasn't going to say, hey, I'm hosting a goodbye to Melinda at the conference center and not include that as, I can't take that. I can't take an in-kind grant and do even though it would be open to the public, right, to come and say goodbye. I didn't want to,
But then
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go, finish up and then I'll ask Ms. Marsh.
We get to splitting hairs and this, well, we're having a ceremony for the swearing in the officers.
doesn't- right.
And it's kind of, there are employees, okay? That's where I see the big difference. So you're going to have the police department saying, hey, we have to have a waiver. I hope we don't come to that. So
Okay. Thank you. Counselor Marsh.
I agree with Counselor Campos. I think, one, we have very few benefits to our long-term employees, and this is minimal to allow them one freebie building use for, even if it is for their granddaughter's quinceañera or whatever. But I also agree that if it is a city employee and a city event such as a retirement celebration or a swearing in of officers, it should not even be necessary, or that shouldn't count as their one time.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Fair.
I wasn't, because I can tell you right now, if I would have done something over there, somebody would say, well, you charged Earthwise, who paid for the facility to do, and so I didn't want to get into that. But if that is the consensus of the council to do something like that for long-term employees, in that nature, then I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that.
But I also think it's a very basic benefit to give them a discount for the buildings that we have in the city to hold an event for their family or whatever, outside of the city's recognition of their
You'll
employment.
keep the one-time,
Keep the one-time thing, but don't count retirements and swearing-ins and that kind of stuff as that one
is that the
event.
consensus?
Yes,
What do you
I-
think, Counselor?
I think that's an
Orozco?
excellent idea. I think we owe it to somebody that devoted their 25 years to our city. And I also think that any council member that has served 5 years, 6 months, 13 days, be allowed to have it also.
You're confusing things.
Okay, now, but all jokes aside, I think they deserve this, and I'm for it.
Okay, good. Did you have something to add, Counselor?
if it's a retirement or an employee recognition of some sort, I think we need,
Uh-oh.
and I thought, did I say something offensive? That we should also waive the cleaning fee. I don't, this is some celebration for a long-term employee, and for us to come up and say, hey, you gotta pay $145 for the cleaning,
I agree.
I think that needs to be waived. The deposit is a security,
Refundable. I mean, the deposit-
I just think that that's just a city event that we're celebrating a long-term employee's tenure here.
Yeah, so I think in the email I sent y'all was that and Melinda's, the staff volunteered to do the cleanup, and we were gonna be there to open and close, and so, mine was more concerned, I didn't wanna be called out by the public or anybody else saying that I'm doing something outside of, my ability to, to just waive a fee. I was opening it up to the public, to come say their goodbyes to Melinda. That's kind of where I was like, there, people could come and so I wasn't gonna do anything. I was just gonna do it. But then we had the discussion on Earthwise, and I kind of charged the fee to them, and so I already knew. And so I thought, well, let's have an open discussion on your feelings and what your thoughts are on that. And I agree wholeheartedly.
But if it's, you know, on the other hand, if it is an outside event,
Like a
like a
graduation
graduation,
party, sure.
quinceañera, whatever that celebration is that's not
Related to that, to.
right, I
okay.
think, yes, they need to pay.
But again, tied to 25 years service
Correct.
and above, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But then okay, does somebody want to make a motion then on this? Because we'll need a motion.
I don't have my glasses.
So I can state it, and then somebody can say, how about
Okay.
that? So the motion would be to approve as presented, with the option to allow employee recognition ceremonies not fall, be exempt from any fee allocations.
I so move.
Second.
Okay. Let me see if I got that down. All right. I can't read my writing. Okay, so we're going to move that, the way I was looking at it was any employee 25-year plus gets the one free.
So move as presented.
Move as presented,
Move
that's
as
right.
presented.
With the exception that employee recognition ceremonies are exempt from any fee.
Correct.
Is that, okay, so, all right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry. Okay, moving then to Agenda 8, any future agenda items that we need to consider?
Last call for town hall meeting items.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I talked to the manager today about, you know, we do have the 250th anniversary of our country's wonderful birthing and existence over these 250 years. And I know we're not going to have anything like what we've had in the past, but I'd just like to discuss, and you had some really good ideas about what we could do that wouldn't be would be very costly. So I'd like to add that to the town hall, maybe get some citizen input. I said flags, but, you know,
Yeah, I was
that-
thinking
that
like
cost.
an opening ceremony to the 5K, since y'all are still doing the
Yeah.
5K, so like
So,
the proclamation,
like
raise
that.
the big flag, do the national anthem, do some like, you know, maybe honor guard or something. Somebody can play, you know, some music or something before and then kick off the 5K, and then, you know.
I don't know.
So that was
It was
just my
just-
suggestion, that it wouldn't cost really any more, you know, other than the fire department raising their big.
ROTC from Marshall would be able to come, because they practice during the summertime also. Students come and do that.
So.
Okay, that sounds good. But anyway, I was just thinking we needed to do something.
So do you want me to add that to the town hall meeting for discussion?
Y'all want to add it for the
That's
town hall?
fine, yeah.
It won't take that long, you know, 10,
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Sure.
Okay, all right, let's just do that, so we'll add that.
I do
Yes,
have a
sir, go
request,
ahead.
though. Dr. Cardenas, sometime in January or February, can we get an update on our development here in Leon Valley as far as all the subdivisions that are being built? If you have a chance, I know we got a lot of,
Yeah.
I know you did it once, and,
What's the status?
yeah, just for the
Yeah.
status, where we're at, how many houses have been built, and how many permits have been requested and so
Sure.
forth? If you
Yep,
can, if you
we'll
can.
bring it back, yeah.
Sometime in January.
And then the other thing I was looking for on your city manager's report, I went to the link that you have there, and I was wanting to know, what did we end up at our sales tax percentage for the year? Because we finished November.
That's in your annual
So-
report. You'll get that the week before my evaluation, because, you know, I have to smooze y'all. No,
Oh.
I normally give it to y'all on that, but if you need it ahead of time, I'll.
Well, no, I just didn't see it on the, you know, it was only through September, I think. It wasn't updated, so.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I thought I gave y'all, I'll go
Well,
look.
it's the link when you go to economic development, and it says sales tax, and I didn't see it, so I
Well,
was just
because that's not
curious.
for the year. So they're
No,
you're
it's
two
not.
different, one is budget year, so I thought you were asking for the budget number.
Well,
And so
I
gave
am
you that-
asking for the budget number.
So the budget number I
Yeah.
gave y'all.
I want to know, did we hit our target of 3% or
Yeah, so
whatever
I
it
gave that
was?
to y'all in October. No, I haven't given y'all that one.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know.
had-
I don't know. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, okay.
I'll just send it to you. I'm
That's
sorry.
it.
Yes.
So, anything
Yes,
else for the good of the cause? Okay, all right. All right, so it's 8:06, and if there's no objections, we move to adjourn. Okay, y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
So Melinda's last day is the 16th. Are we going to have it on a Friday night?
So no.